Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the video. This is my video series where I talk about Classic World of Warcraft dungeons. We go over the history, the bosses, the loot, and then at the end of the video I talk about my ideas for Classic Plus and what I think would be cool implemented into the game. So today, we're talking about the Wailing Caverns. The Winding Labyrinth. A quick history of the Wailing Caverns. The network of underground caverns within the Barrens was discovered by a night elf druid named Gnarlex. Named the Wailing Caverns due to the caverns being filled with steam fissures, which produce long, mournful wails as they vented. Gnarlex believed that he could use the cavern's underground springs to bring back lushness and fertility to the Barrens, but doing so would involve siphoning energies from the Emerald Dream. Once connected to the Emerald Dream, Gnarlex's vision became a nightmare. Soon after, the caverns started to change, the waters turned foul, and the creatures changed into hostile, deadly predators. Gnarlex is still trapped within the caverns and trapped within the Emerald Dream. His former acolytes have since been corrupted, transforming into the Druids of Fang. So going into the dungeon, you'll encounter all sorts of different monsters, beasts, druids, swamp monsters, you name it. It's a pretty good time. And in doing so, you'll run into the Fanglords. These are the acolytes that had been corrupted, who used to follow Gnarlex, but are now Fanglords in the Wailing Caverns. So first up, you have Lady Anaconda, previously known as Scarlet Leaf, post-corruption turned into a Fanglord. Lord Cobran, larger than his druid brethren, known for the claw that he wields in his hand. Lord Pythos was once a seasoned warrior and a guardian of Gnarlex. Lord Serpantus, before the corruption, was a powerful and prestigious druid. And then there's two beast bosses in the dungeon. You have this nice little turtle named Crush minding his own business, unaffected by Gnarlex's nightmare, oblivious to the evil around him. If you kill him, you can get his shell as a shield. It's kind of funny. And then you have Scum. He's kind of hanging out deeper in the dungeons in a little pen. He's taken from the Barrens, and he's now Lord Pythos' favorite pet. Further along in the dungeon, you'll do a little jump situation between this pretty deadly gap that can set you back quite a few minutes, and you'll go up to his lair. He's Verdan the Everliving. Was once the guardian of the Wailing Caverns, but since the nightmare is now an abomination, attacking any who enter his lair. And then at the very end, there's the that's my best Murloc impression. You have the boss Mutanus the Devourer, manifested from the nightmare, ordered to prevent anyone from trying to wake Gnarlex. So to get to this boss, you'll kill every other boss in the dungeon, you'll go to the front, you'll talk to this druid, you kind of escort him through a little bit to the area where Gnarlex is sleeping. He'll try to wake Gnarlex, and then it'll summon this Murloc. And he's a pretty fun boss. So going over some of the boss loot, most of this little infographic was provided by WoW Tavern, Warcraft Tavern, so thank you Warcraft Tavern. And then I added a couple pieces that were pretty important in my opinion that were missing from it. So going over Mutanus's loot, you have the Mutant Scale Breastplate, the Deep Fathom Ring, Slime Encrusted Pads. Lord Pythos has the Armor of Fang, the Stinging Viper. Lord Serpantus has the Venom Strike, the Serpent Gloves, the Footpads of Fang, the Savage Trotters. Verdan the Everliving has the Living Root, the Seedcloud Buckler, the Spored Cape. And then I felt like Cobran's Grasp and the Leggings of Fang were important to include, just because the belt is really, really good at level 19, plus 8 strength, plus 3 agility for a nice little chainmail belt. And then the pants, plus 5 strength, plus 9 agility, plus 4 stamina. Now depending on what class you roll, and if you choose to do some twinking at level 19, those pants and that belt are pretty important in my opinion, as they provide some of the best stats in the game at that level. So gearing up a twink, those are two really important pieces to have. The Armor of Fang, the Footpads of Fang, and the rest of the Fang set, they're supposed to be like a druid set, and it goes within the theme of the dungeon, the Wailing Caverns. You're fighting druids, so it only makes sense to have a set like this, similar to in the Deadmines, the Defias set that drops mainly for rogues. So then we're going to go into my ideas for Classic Plus and what I thought would be cool additions to the dungeon. So I thought a water elemental abomination boss in one of the many pools of water would be cool. I think it goes well with the dungeon, especially with the corruption and the waters changing. a stealth boss that roams the caverns, similar to a fen creature from the wetlands, ready to pop out unexpected. I thought this would add some fun flavor to the dungeon, as you could have this boss navigating through the dungeon on a bit of a path. You never know when it's going to jump out. It kind of adds an element of surprise to spice up the gameplay. You could be fighting a mob and it pops out. It just adds a little bit of extra zest to the dungeon and a little extra danger, something that you're not expecting, and it could come out at any time. A seed that drops from Verdan that starts a quest, and you must bring it to Thunder Bluff or Darnassus to be cleansed, after which it turns into a miniature version of Verdan. I thought this would be a cool little pet to collect. I think collections are really important in World of Warcraft. People love collecting mounts, they love collecting pets, armors, weapons, and this would really complement the Classic Plus gameplay, especially if they add different collection tabs in the game. I just think it would help round off some of the content in the game. A cosmetic drop with a cooldown that turns into a deviant python for X amount of time, not usable in battlegrounds. Any damage reverts the form. I thought this could be a cool flavor item where it turns you into a snake. You could use it in a main city. It might need some kind of tuning, because I can see people using it in, say, Stranglethorn Vale to hide, almost as like a stealth toy. It would be pretty handy in PvP, I suppose, in open world PvP, if you're just kind of hiding as a snake and then popping out. So it might need a little tuning in that regard. Maybe a glimpse into the Emerald Dream via Narlek's Nightmare, kind of foreshadowing events later in the game. If some form of Emerald Dream was added to Classic Plus, I think it'd be cool, a zone that epic, if we had little previews throughout the game, just little lore pieces. And then alternate ending, where you have to fight Narlex, and he succumbs to the nightmare and becomes corrupted. And maybe the dungeon is on a timer in the background or something, where if you don't complete or wake him up in a certain amount of time, he gets corrupted and you have to fight him. I thought that could add a fun little spin on the dungeon, give you some motivation to clear it faster. I suppose it could go both ways, where maybe you choose to fight Narlex or you choose to fight the Murloc, and they have different tables of loot, so depending on what you're going for, you could do either boss. And so those are just a few of my ideas for a Classic Plus version of Wailing Caverns. We went over a bit of the history, the bosses, the loot, and so I'd like to know what you guys think would be cool with Wailing Caverns. I know this is kind of a long, tedious dungeon, and it's not super popular, but the loot is good, the theme is good, it's fun, and so yeah, comment below what you think would be cool in a Classic Plus version of Wailing Caverns. If you have any ideas for future videos or what dungeon you'd like to see next, let me know. And yeah, if you liked the video, let me know, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, comment below what I can do to improve the videos for you guys, because that's what I like to do. I want to make the best quality video for you guys. And yeah, so until next time, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. You look good today.